Hello and welcome once again. We're starting in Edo State where the governor, Amadi, on Sunday clarified his comments that P2B should not enter the state without clearance, saying it was not a threat but a directive on issues of protocol. In a statement signed by his Chief Press Secretary Freddie Tua, the Edo State government said there was a need for high-profile individuals, particularly politically exposed persons, to notify and seek security clearance from the governor before embarking on any public engagements within the state. He said, quote, "As the Chief Security Officer of Edo State, it is the governor's constitutional responsibility to safeguard the lives and property of all residents and visitors alike. This duty includes ensuring that adequate security measures are put in place during high-profile visits or events that may attract large crowds or media attention," end quote. Well, the statement says that when such protocols are ignored, it creates serious security vulnerabilities, not only for the visitor, but also for citizens who may be caught in avoidable threats. A former National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Olisa Metu, is calling on President Bola Tinubu to caution state governors over what he described as undemocratic restrictions on the constitutional rights of citizens. Metu, in a statement, described Edo State governor's warning to the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party not to enter his state without his prior approval as a threat to democratic values and individual freedom. He said that a similar precedent had earlier been set by another governor from the North Central Zone and cautioned against normalizing what he called unconstitutional practices. Meta urged the president to distance himself from such practices and uphold the inclusive values he was known for during his tenure as the Lagos State governor. Well, Dr. Sam Amadi, Director of Abuja School of Social and Political Thought, joins us to look at this particular issue. Dr. Sam, glad to have you join us on News Night.
Good evening.
Well, an overview. When you had or read about the statement of the governor, what impression did it make on your mind?
First, I think it was disastrous, even for the governor's image. We knew when the governor of Benue, said something like, P2B, don't come. That was a little bit dignified. It came out, this was very crude, belligerent, more like, it wasn't what a chief security officer would say or do. I mean, let's not forget the line. The line was not, there are protocols. The line was, first, it was antagonistic. It's not a case of a security briefing or security protocol or even telling somebody, don't come. He's saying, Mr. P2B, it was rally. Don't ever come here again. And then ended with an insult, a very illogical insult, incoherent. Says, you say you don't have shishi, you don't give shishi, and you give 15 million. I mean, incoherent, illogical. But the point is, it was full of venom. It was an attack, not an advisory. Not even, so he acted more like chief security threat rather than chief security officer. And the problem is this, you see, there is an increasing sense, and again, just today, his SSA issued a video message, and he said this is an APC state. We don't want anybody here except APC. He said when Obaseki was there, he alleged when Obaseki was there, they were tearing our posters and our banner. Here we are in charge. It's APC. Nobody should come and campaign here. Now what we're getting to is actually dangerous because it's the idea of state and state actors.
Well, before you continue on the question of PDP and APC, the question ordinarily someone will ask is, does two wrongs make a right?
Obviously, I mean, let's assume Obaseki, Obaseki people thought, first they're not the same thing. Threatening a leading opposition candidate that his life is not guaranteed for barely visiting is a sense communicating outsiders, people in the whole world. Embassies will be saying, is this an official APC line? Because this is an APC governor. This is a high ranking. This is not like a supporter of the party saying, Mr. P2B, don't come to our state. This is the governor saying, you can't come here again. If you come here, whatever happens to you, I'm not joking. It should be interpreted in embassy. I used to be a special advisor to foreign affairs. If I was at the desk of a foreign government, the US government, and I saw this message come through, I will note it as official state policy against opposition.
But the government has come out to say that it wasn't a threat. It was for PEPs, that is politically exposed persons, for security reasons, so that their lives can be protected, not just the lives of the individuals, but...
Well, obviously it's a cop-out. This is just laughable cop-out. But then, if you want to do an advice, this is how advices go. Because of certain circumstances, for example, we will require politically exposed persons, whoever that means, who are coming, to notify us so that we can provide them security. Not that they shouldn't come. This is,
or that they should take approval.
This is nonsensical political attack. And it's supposed to go back. And this is why it's dangerous. We are spiraling to a point of violence. We're still away from the 227. But everything, whether it's Benue, whether it's Edo, whether it's Lagos, whether anywhere, it points to a very violent election. And this is the problem. People in government have an illusion that in the old Weberian concept of the state, that government and government officials have monopoly of violence. We live in an age of globalization. And what it has brought is non-state actors, individuals who can mount violence against the state. Look at Boko Haram. For 87 years, we've not defeated it. Look at all across the country. So if you're in power, you're the IG or the Commissioner of Police or the governor, I think you're the person who has the capacity to use violence. This violent acts against people is going to procreate violence. And I can tell you from the history, from what we are dealing with today with access to small arms, with IEDs, the state is no longer fully in charge of violence.
Now, this is the governor of a state.
Yeah. So basically, I'm saying that what they are doing, if they don't pull back from this, militarization of politics and this notion of, if you're not APC or you're not PDP, don't come to us. If they don't stop it, they're going to be a counter-violence. And I'm saying that the state is not all that powerful anymore.
Okay. By way of thinking, is it possible either the governor or his advisors do not understand the question of fundamental rights of individuals to associate, move freely, or don't even understand the Constitution? The reason he made that statement, is that just possible? And then secondly, just take it in your stride. For, not just for politically exposed persons, what's the danger in terms of how do you guard against these kinds of attitude from leaders in terms of the protection of lives of people like Obi or any other person for that matter?
Okay, so let's take two of them. First is, are they ignorant? Are they just daft? No, I think they are desperate. You see, this is the problem. Nigerian politicians should understand that the underlying value and proportion of democracy is that incumbents can lose power and go home. You see, that idea that we just can't lose is going to either cause this country to go on flames. And Jonathan is an example they should emulate. Just yesterday, he got a very mighty recognition. You have to admit that if the people don't want you can lose. So if you can't lose, you must win by all means. Then other people will say you have to lose, and it's violent, the country is lost. So I think they need some political education. That yes, do your best to win. Do your best to protect APC.
Do your best constitutionally,
legally. Do your best campaign. But if the people say you have to lose because you're not delivering, then you say, you know what, Peter, we don't come to this state. Okay, Peter won a handily. Okay, anybody who follows in the last election, anybody who follows politics know that Edo is so-called, the headquarters, they're so-called obedient, okay? And you're the governor.
Well, that's not what INEC gave us.
No, he won on INEC. No, I'm not saying should have won. He won Edo.
The governor of Edo State today is
PDP. Peter won the presidential election.
Sorry.
No, I don't mean...
Okay.
So what I'm saying that he has strong base in that place. So I can say a governor feeling bad about it, which is okay. I would like to deliver my state to my president. And there's nothing wrong about it. You engage them, you do politics, you campaign. But if you say, you know what, like this SSA saying, this is an APC state, we don't want anybody to campaign here. That's bladderdash. This is Nigeria country. No state is any party state. Not PDP, not Labour, not APC. And by virtue of democracy, every incumbent can lose. And when the people say you should lose, you lose. That's the first knowledge they have to, and that's where the National Security Advisor comes in now. I expected the NSA, if he was alive to his duty, honestly, to issue to either privately. This is a threat to security. Now look at the crisis in Edo. Look at the killing of the travelers that almost erupted, and the governor stepped in. Look at everyday occurrence in this country. Now, if a governor tells the opposition party, your leading candidate cannot enter this territory again because he gave 15 million to. So we
have about 45 seconds. So, this is very important.
Yeah, sure. So I think the NSA and the IG, they're not doing their job. They should give advisory that this is threat to security. And the president should say, you know what, don't ever. Nobody should tell any candidate not to come to the States.
While the House, the NAS is talking review and patriots are discussing a new constitution totally, this question of immunity for governors, is there a possibility that can be tinkered with?
I think, look, the only person who have immunity is the president. That's what it's not in democracies. But even at the governors, the key thing is the Supreme Court in Gani Fawemi's case against Abacha, against Tinubu, when Gani wanted to ask the police to prosecute Tinubu over allegation of forged certificate, the Supreme Court said that immunity does not cover investigation. So this is the point. When you're a governor, the police has the right to interdict you, investigate, come up and said, we've concluded we're going to charge this man when he leaves. This notion that governor immunity means no investigation, no police engagement, that's wrong. Yes, the idea of is prosecution, that it might interfere with their job. But the notion that a governor can do something that's blatantly criminal does not mean that the police cannot say, this act is criminal. And we have commenced investigation. Look at the governors across the U.S., even the President of the United States of America. The police can say, we are commencing investigation. We may not charge you now, but investigation concludes, and that is important, so that there's no interference. You conclude it, you would even do, if it's the people who do so-called grand jury and all that, the person can even be, the jury can come in and say, okay, indicted, but not yet tried. So I think that we should actually strike off governors having immunity. Only Mr. President, for obvious reason that he embodies the Republic for now.
All right, Dr. Sam Amadi, Director of Abuja School of Social and Political Thought there, sharing his mind on the statement from the Governor of Edo State. Thank you so much for being on Arise News. We're still here.